Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 1 hour, Prime Minister Modi hails Operation Sindoor in his year-end Mann Ki Baat. Says today's India does not compromise on security. Jamaat-Islami announces electoral alliance with the National Citizen Party in Bangladesh amid internal dissent in the NCP. Ahead of Zelensky-Trump talks in Florida, Russia claims control of 6 settlements in Ukraine's Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia. Ukraine refutes, says its troops are holding strong. Well, the big news coming out of Bangladesh this evening: despite anger and deep divisions within the National Citizen Party over an alliance with the Jamaat-Islami, Bangladesh's Jamaat-Islami has announced a new electoral alliance with the NCP and the Liberal Democratic Party ahead of the upcoming parliamentary elections. Jamaat chief Shafiq-ur-Rahman made the announcement in Dhaka on Sunday evening, saying that the NCP had formally agreed to join the alliance, though the NCP wasn't present at the briefing. The move has triggered sharp dissent within the NCP, a student-led party born out of the July uprising. Several senior leaders have questioned the alliance, citing ideological differences and the Jamaat's opposition to Bangladesh's independence in 1971. At least 30 NCP leaders had opposed any seat-sharing deal with Jamaat, warning that it could damage the party's credibility. Senior leader of the party, Tasneem Jara, had also resigned and announced that she will contest the election as an independent candidate. The alliance signals a major shift in opposition politics, even as it exposes growing divisions within newer political parties ahead of the polls. And as pressure mounts at home and abroad, Bangladesh is entering a tense pre-election phase ahead of its parliamentary polls scheduled for February 12th next year. Concerns over minority safety, political violence and fragile alliances are dominating the campaign trail. Internal rifts are emerging within the parties, and renewed street unrest is raising fresh questions about stability. Eyes are now on the interim government to ensure a peaceful and credible vote.
Bangladesh is heading toward the 13th Jatiya Sangsad elections on February 12 amid rising concerns over minority safety, political cohesion and growing violence. Minority groups have urged political parties to clearly commit to protecting religious minorities in their election manifestos. The Bangladesh Hindu-Buddhist Christian Unity Council says more than 2,600 attacks and at least 90 deaths involving minorities were reported over the past 11 months, warning that the use of religion in politics could undermine social harmony and the credibility of the polls. Meanwhile, political activity has intensified with the return of BNP acting chairman Tariq Rahman as party leaders stress discipline ahead of the election. Rahman has also appealed for prayers as BNP chairperson Khalida Zia remains critically ill. At the same time, cracks have emerged within the student-led National Citizen Party over the alliance with Jamaat-Islami. Around 30 party leaders, mostly women, have opposed the move, citing Jamaat's controversial role in the 1971 Liberation War. 2 senior leaders have resigned, warning the alliance could erode public trust. Security concerns have grown following the killing of Inqilab Manch leader Sharif Osman Hadi and subsequent attacks on media houses and cultural organizations. Bangladesh's Editors' Council has accused a section of the interim government of allowing violence to continue, a charge the government denies. International reaction has followed the lynching of Hindu garment worker Deepu Chandra Das in Mymensingh. US lawmaker Ro Khanna and the United Nations have condemned the killing and urged protection for minorities. Protests have also been held outside the Bangladesh High Commission in London, with British Hindu groups calling for international action.
This protest was done to raise awareness of the entire century of persecution. Now, to clarify, not migration, persecution. And today, this protest, we all came together, we chanted Hanuman Chalisa, we chanted Har Har Mahadev, all just to show that we are united as Hindus. And today, we've come as the Hindu diaspora to show that we condemn the atrocities against Hindus.
With weeks to go before polling day, Bangladesh faces mounting pressure to ensure security, protect minorities, and maintain stability during a critical election period. Ravinder Chauhan's report for DD India.
And to tell us more about the developments in Bangladesh, I'm joined by DD India correspondent, excuse me, Naval Singh Parmar, who joins us from Dhaka with the latest update. Naval Singh, first of all, big announcement by the Jamaat that the NCP and the Jamaat have joined hands. This was on the cards. We saw a lot of internal dissent. But the big question that everybody is asking, while Shafiqur Rahman was there, why wasn't Nahid Islam or anybody from the NCP a part of that announcement? Because this announcement could have big ramifications in the upcoming elections.
Well, since last week, there was a talk going on in the political circle of Bangladesh that there will be an alliance between the Jamaat-Islami Bangladesh and the NCP, National Citizen Party. But as you mentioned, that there was a crack and some 30 leaders, including many of them were the women, who openly criticized that the Jamaat-e-Islami is having a historical baggage. It was the party who opposed the independence of Bangladesh during the Liberation War in 1971. It was the party who was involved, which was involved in the genocide in the Bangladesh. It was the party who was involved in the rape and murder of Bangladeshi women during the Liberation War. So people didn't forget the role Jamaat-e-Islami played during the Liberation War, and the NCP leaders, and many of them may damage their reputation while contesting the election in upcoming parliamentary election. So there was a crack, but now it became a rift. As per the latest media report, the Mahfuz Anam, one of the former advisor, who mentioned that I will not join a party, I will not become I will not join the NCP, which is having an alliance with Jamaat-e-Islamis. Mahfuz Alam is one of the key coordinator. He was one of the key coordinator of the student uprising against the Sheikh Hasina. There were three young leaders who joined the Yunus administration, and one of them was Mahfuz Anam, Asif Mahmood, and Nahid Islam. So after 6 months time, 8 months time, Nahid Islam resigned from the advisory council of Dr. Yunus and formed an NCP, National Citizen Party. And it was a stated understanding among the young leaders that they, at the time of announcement of election, remaining two, Mahfuz Alam and Asif Mahmood, will resign and they will join NCP to strengthen the new political party.
Okay.
But now the scenario has changed. Asif Mahmood 3 days back announced that he will contest independently. He will not join NCP. That was the first blow to the NCP. Now right now, just Mahfuz Alam also make his statement that he will not join NCP, which is having an alliance with the Jamaat-e-Islami. Otherwise, it was believed that Mahfuz Alam is a key between NCP and Jamaat-e-Islami. He was the person who was coordinating between the two political parties.
So everybody knows that in July agitation, the Jamaat backed the NCP, or I mean, at that time there was no NCP.
They were hand in hand. They were hand in hand.
They were hand in hand. So why is Mahfuz Alam now sitting out?
Actually, after the attack on the media, Pratham Alo, Daily Star, and the New Age editor, as well as the attack on minority, now public perception in Bangladesh has changed with the return of Tariq Rahman too, that the Jamaat-e-Islami and the fundamentalist political party, as they have a historical baggage with them, and they have a radical agenda. and people of Bangladesh will not support that kind of radical agenda, because they have they attack on the cultural institution like Sayanat and Udichi, and the day before yesterday they attack on James that band also in Faridpur.
Okay.
So this kind of development have raised the eyebrow of the many people in Bangladesh, that if the Jamaat-e-Islami now they are not in power, they are just backing Yunus administration, they are enjoying a indirect benefit of Yunus administration. If they come to power, then what will be the scenario? What will be the scene in the street of Bangladesh? So female,
All right.
particularly women, are very much conscious about the rise of Jamaat. And
has the
that is the
BNP
reason-
react? Okay, all right, we got that. Naval Singh, has the BNP reacted to this development yet?
No
okay.
official reaction from the BNP.
All right, and how will this boost the alliance's chances? Will the Jamaat get a leg up with they're saying now we are a 10-party alliance, and also give us a sense of how big is the LDP?
Actually, out of this 10 party, Jamaat-e-Islami is having it is one of the biggest, in out of 10, it is the big party, but still they don't have a more than 8 to, historically, they didn't get more than 8 to 10% vote in Bangladesh. So it is not a big challenge to BNP. If they could have managed alliance with the other political party like Jatiya Party, which was a part of Awami League coalition during the Sheikh Hasina's time, or any other political parties, but there was no chance, because their fundamentalist ideology, religious ideology, creates the obstacle for the other political party to join Jamaat-led alliance. Whatever the political party they joined, is the Islami Andolan and all the Islamist party.
Is Jatiya contesting this time around?
There is earlier there was a demand from this NCP and other Jamaat Islami party, that they want a ban on Jatiya party, as it was a coalition partner of Awami League, but still now there is no restriction on the Jatiya party to contest the election. So it may contest. Yeah.
All right, very interesting development. Coming days we'll have to see how this fragile alliance lasts. Naval Singh Parmar, many thanks for joining us for the moment and giving us this update from Dhaka. And moving on to neighboring Myanmar. Polling has closed for the first phase of the Myanmar junta-run general elections since the military seized power in 2021. The vote has been held amid the ongoing conflict and sharp criticism from the United Nations over its credibility. DD India's Adamya Mishra brings us more.
Polls closed in the first round of Myanmar's junta-run elections on Sunday, marking the end of the opening phase of a month-long vote. Democracy watchdogs have dismissed the exercise as an attempt to rebrand military rule, with reports of low voter turnout and persistent questions over polls' credibility. In Myanmar's largest city, Yangon, voters also lined up at polling stations as voting began early Sunday morning. The country has remained in deep political turmoil since the military ousted the civilian government led by Aung San Suu Kyi in 2021.
The
election is important for Myanmar. I expected a lot for this day. I'm happy it reached 28th December, so I came first here to vote.
Overshadowed by ongoing civil war and questions over credibility, voters in Myanmar began casting their ballots on Sunday in the country's first general election since the 2021 military coup. Authorities say that over 50,000 electronic voting machines are being used nationwide to prevent fraud. However, critics have dismissed the exercise as neither free nor fair. Myanmar's junta chief voted in the heavily guarded capital, claiming the election would be free and fair despite widespread skepticism. Two more rounds of voting are scheduled for January 11 and January 25, covering 265 of the country's 330 townships, even as fighting continues in several regions.
We guarantee that this will be a free and fair election. Our reputation cannot be ruined by this election being conducted by the military. I recall that 2020 election turned out very badly and damaged the country's image. It was shame. Some people ignored the result. I knew the result of 2020 election because I checked the process myself.
The junta says the election marks a fresh political and economic start. However, the United Nations and human rights groups have rejected the polls as lacking credibility, with major anti-junta parties staying out of the process. Adamya Mishra's report for DD India.
And still to come up on DD India Newshour, Italy arrests 9 over alleged Hamas funding through charities. A 470-kilogram World War II unexploded bomb removed from a construction site in central Belgrade.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Arey, it fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Amritpal Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared his thoughts with the countrymen in his 129th episode of the Mann Ki Baat program. While the Prime Minister spoke about welcoming the new year with new passion and enthusiasm, he also presented an account of the country's achievements in 2025. He also hailed Operation Sindoor.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted the achievements of the year 2025 in his monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat. He mentioned sports, science, Operation Sindoor and Vande Mataram. He also stated that 2025 gave several pride moments.
कुछ ही दिनों में साल 2026 दस्तक देने वाला है और आज जब मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूं तो मन में पूरे एक साल की यादें घूम रही हैं। कई तस्वीरें, कई चर्चाएं, कई उपलब्धियां जिन्होंने देश को एक साथ जोड़ दिया। 2025 ने हमें ऐसे कई पल दिए जिन पर हर भारतीय को गर्व हुआ। देश की सुरक्षा से लेकर खेल के मैदान तक, विज्ञान की प्रयोगशालाओं से लेकर दुनिया के बड़े मंचों तक भारत ने हर जगह अपनी मजबूत छाप छोड़ी। इस साल ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हर भारतीय के लिए गर्व का प्रतीक बन गया। दुनिया ने साफ देखा, आज का भारत अपनी सुरक्षा से कोई समझौता नहीं करता। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान देश के कोने कोने से मां भारती के प्रति प्रेम और समर्पण की तस्वीरें सामने आई। लोगों ने अपने अपने तरीके से अपने भाव व्यक्त किए। साथियों, यही जज्बा तब भी देखने को मिला जब वंदे मातरम के 150 वर्ष पूरे हुए।
The Prime Minister also recalled the achievements in the field of sports and space, likewise the moment of women's cricket team creating history by winning the World Cup for the first time.
खेल के लिहाज से भी एक यादगार साल रहा। हमारी पुरुष क्रिकेट टीम ने आईसीसी चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी जीती। महिला क्रिकेट टीम ने पहली बार विश्व कप अपने नाम किया। भारत की बेटियों ने विमेन्स ब्लाइंड T20 वर्ल्ड कप जीतकर इतिहास रच दिया। एशिया कप T20 में भी तिरंगा शान से लहराया। पैरा एथलीटों ने विश्व चैंपियनशिप में कई पदक जीतकर ये साबित किया कि कोई बाधा हौसलों को नहीं रोक सकती। विज्ञान और अंतरिक्ष क्षेत्र में भी भारत ने बड़ी छलांग लगाई। शुभांशु शुक्ला पहले भारतीय बने जो इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन तक पहुंचे।
Prime Minister Modi in his Mann Ki Baat also mentioned about India's faith and culture. He urged the countrymen to move forward with new hopes and new resolutions in 2026.
पर्यावरण संरक्षण और वन्य जीवों की सुरक्षा से जुड़े कई प्रयास भी 2025 की पहचान बने। भारत में चीतों की संख्या भी अब 30 से ज्यादा हो गई है। 2025 में आस्था, संस्कृति और भारत की अद्वितीय विरासत सब एक साथ दिखाई दी। साल के शुरुआत में प्रयागराज महाकुंभ के आयोजन ने पूरी दुनिया को चकित किया। साल के अंत में अयोध्या में राम मंदिर पर ध्वजारोहण के कार्यक्रम ने हर भारतीय को गर्व से भर दिया। स्वदेशी को लेकर भी लोगों का उत्साह खूब दिखाई दिया। लोग वही सामान खरीद रहे हैं जिसमें किसी भारतीय का पसीना लगा हो और जिसमें भारत की मिट्टी की सुगंध हो। आज हम गर्व से कह सकते हैं 2025 ने भारत को और अधिक आत्मविश्वास दिया है। ये बात भी सही है, इस वर्ष प्राकृतिक आपदाएं हमें झेलनी पड़ी, अनेक क्षेत्रों में झेलनी पड़ी। अब देश 2026 में नई उम्मीदों, नए संकल्पों के साथ आगे बढ़ने को तैयार है।
Prime Minister also encouraged people regarding Swadeshi and said that people are buying the same goods in which the sweat of an Indian is involved and which has the fragrance of the country's soil. Bureau Report, DD India.
And the war between Russia and Ukraine has entered its fourth year, with eastern regions again under threat. Russia claims new gains, while Ukraine says its troops are holding strong. Even as fighting intensifies, President Volodymyr Zelensky is working the diplomatic front, meeting US and European leaders to influence future peace deal. More in this report.
The war in Ukraine is entering another critical moment. Russia has intensified its offensive in the east of Ukraine. On Saturday, Russian Defense Ministry announced that Russian troops took control of 6 settlements in Ukraine's Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia region. Ukraine's military rejected Russia's assertions about capturing settlements. The situation in both places remains difficult, but defensive operations by Ukrainian troops are ongoing. Meanwhile, on Sunday, the Ukrainian military struck the Syzran oil refinery in Russia's Samara region. Kyiv's general said that the strike on the facility caused a fire and damages were still being assessed. As the assault by Russian missiles and drones intensified, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Florida to hold talks with US President Donald Trump. They will discuss 20-point peace plan. Zelensky said the plan could become the basis of a future agreement to end the war with Russia. Many hurdles to a comprehensive peace deal remain, but Zelensky hopes to convince Trump to soften US demands for territorial concessions.
We will have a meeting with President Trump. We will talk about these very things. Security guarantees are very important to me. We want them to be absolutely clear, and it is important when we can have them. We have discussed this with our European colleagues. That is, security guarantees must be simultaneous with the end of the war, because we must be confident that Russia will not start aggression again. We need strong security guarantees.
While Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Russia will resolve all challenges by force if Ukraine's leadership does not wish to end the conflict peacefully. Zelensky made a stopover in Canada and met Prime Minister Mark Carney. Canadian Prime Minister announced an additional 2.5 billion US dollars in economic assistance for Ukraine. He said that the support would help unlock further international financing. Zelensky also held talks with EU, NATO, and European leaders who gave him their full support. European Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen said that the support for Ukraine would not falter. Meanwhile, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov accused European leaders of pursuing political ambitions in their approach to Kyiv, saying they are ignoring the interests of both Ukrainians and their own citizens. He also said that any European troop contingents deployed to Ukraine would become legitimate targets for Russia's armed forces. As diplomatic talks gather pace, Ukrainians say peace cannot come at the cost of justice or sovereignty. With the war now nearing its fourth year, many in Kyiv remain resolute. watching the negotiations closely but measuring their future not by promises made abroad but by realities on the ground at home. Bureau Report, DD India.
Italian prosecutors have arrested 9 people on suspicion of financing Hamas through charities operating in the country. The operation, carried out by the anti-mafia and anti-terrorism units, was led by prosecutors in the northern city of Genoa. Investigators say that the suspects diverted around 7 million euros raised over the past 2 years for humanitarian causes to Hamas-linked entities. Assets worth more than 8 million euros have been seized. Among those arrested are Mohammed Hanoun, the president of the Palestinian Association in Italy. Prosecutors describe him as the head of the Hamas's Italian cell. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. A 470 kilogram World War II unexploded bomb was safely removed from a construction site in central Belgrade in Serbia and transported to an army training ground for destruction. Serbian authorities said that several such bombs from past conflicts have been discovered in the recent years. Iraq has launched a project in its southern desert to curb the impact of worsening sandstorms by stabilizing sand dunes with layers of clay. The effort aims to reduce the transboundary storms that may spread beyond Iraq to Kuwait to Saudi Arabia and Qatar. The number of mountain gorillas in Africa's Virunga region have seen a rise from 242 in 1981 to over 1,000 by 2020. The population boom, however, has created new challenges, prompting Rwanda to plan a 23% expansion of gorilla habitat, even as climate change and poaching continue to threaten the species. And back home, Union Home Minister Amit Shah attended the Namotsav, a cultural program based on the life of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ahmedabad. The event showcased inspiring moments from the Prime Minister's life through art, music and cultural performances. While addressing the gathering, he said that on the 15th of August in 2047, when the country celebrates the centenary of its independence, India will be the first in every field. This journey is called Namotsav. He also said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is at such a level that he needs no publicity. However, the youth of the country need inspiration, and this is the purpose that Namotsav will fulfill. India's largest domestic rooftop solar initiative, PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, has surpassed the milestone of 25 lakh installations, marking significant progress in the country's renewable energy sector. As announced by Union Minister for New and Renewable Energy Prahlad Joshi through a social media platform X, he wrote, and I quote, "India marks yet another proud milestone in its clean energy journey. Guided by the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, 25 lakh households are now empowered with rooftop solar under the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, bringing cleaner power, lower bills and a sustainable future to millions of families." Unquote. Significant increase in the minimum support price for cotton in India has boosted farmers' confidence. New initiatives have aimed at ensuring assured returns and income stability for farmers. The MSP for medium staple cotton has risen sharply from 3,700 rupees in 2014 to 7,710 in 2025. While long staple cotton MSP has increased from 4,000 rupees to 8,110 rupees over the same period. The enhanced MSP has reduced farmers' exposure to price fluctuations and support sustainable growth of the cotton economy, reinforcing India's natural fiber ecosystem and overall textile sector resilience. And still to come up on DD India Newshour, we explore the evolving contours in Bangladesh politics with a special guest on the show.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Amritpal Singh. Before we proceed further in the show, let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Prime Minister Modi hails Operation Sindoor in his year-end Mann Ki Baat, says today's India does not compromise on security. Bangladesh Jamaat-Islami announces electoral alliance with National Citizen Party amid internal dissent in the NCP. Ahead of Zelensky-Trump talks in Florida, Russia claims control of 6 settlements in Ukraine's Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia. Ukraine refutes, says its troops are holding strong. So the big news coming out of Bangladesh at this hour is that the student-led NCP has allied with the Jamaat-Islami, the far-right Islamist party of Bangladesh. What impact could it have on the fragile politics of Bangladesh, which is constantly evolving? To talk more about that, I'm joined by Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti. He's the former Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh. Thank you, Ambassador, for being on the show. Ambassador, what impact will this alliance have on Bangladesh's politics?
Well, I think it's about the numbers, in terms of elect votes. Because the Jamaat-Islami has never won a majority, never in the history of Bangladesh. So they need the numbers. At one time, the BNP thought like that, and they had joined hands with the Jamaat to bring their numbers up and to get a majority. So I think the Jamaat feels that now that the BNP has rejected it as an alliance partner, it has to look for more alliance partners. And the NCP, which is the students' party, which has not much traction and cannot hope to win, more than a few seats, has decided. So they have actually converged because of their interests for the election. They want to get more seats, so they have joined hands. So that is the situation at the moment.
Okay. Ambassador Chakrabarti, you say that the Jamaat has been, though a political player with about 6 to 8% vote share, but in a changed atmosphere, in a charged up atmosphere as the one that prevails right now. A survey conducted in September, October suggests that, they could take as much as 26 to 29%, where the same survey puts the BNP at 30 to 33%. So it's really a toss-up between the Jamaat and the BNP if this survey, which is about a month and a half old, is anything to go by. You're right that the NCP, or the students-led party, is just about at 6%. With more dissent coming in, internal rifts coming, it may go lower. But the Jamaat surely has gained currency from what it was in the previous years.
There's no doubt that the Jamaat has upped its numbers in terms of voter, possible voter, voter attraction. But don't forget that I don't know which which public opinion poll you are quoting.
So this is, let me tell you, this is the nationwide poll conducted by the International Republican Institute. This was between September and October 2025.
Yes, I thought so, because the IRI is an American NGO which has been a party to the regime change operation.
Okay.
They have a old connection with the American establishment, and hence that is why I asked.
Okay.
Because they have an interest in promoting the Jamaat-Islami.
But other surveys have also, shown a leg up to the Jamaat, though they may not be giving, say, 26, 29%.
No, I agree that they are now in a better position in terms of their popularity or whatever, having been the proxy for both the US and Pakistan for the regime change operation. Hence, I do believe, and I agree with you, that they have a better prospect in the coming election. Yet, if they were so confident of winning a majority, they would not have gone into an alliance with the NCP, which also lags behind and has no traction in the countryside, and may not win a few seats, not more than a few seats, I think. So they have decided. This is the logic of political coalitions that we have seen in Bangladesh.
Okay. BNP, give us a sense of where does the BNP stand today? With the return of Tariq Rahman, will it get a certain amount of boost? Begum Khaleda Zia is in very ill health. In fact, Tariq Rahman said, please pray for her. She's on the ventilator. What if, she dies mid-process? Could that convert into a sympathy vote for the BNP? What does the political scenario look like there?
Well, I think Khaleda Zia's demise, which I believe is imminent, or because she's in really bad health and in hospital, would certainly, get them more, sympathy votes. But the BNP today, I think, is in a very good position because it has no competition apart from the Jamaat and others. The Awami League is out. And the only major competitor was the Awami League, which is, of course, still the largest party in Bangladesh, but the BNP is the second largest. So without opposition, I think the BNP has a very good chance of winning. Yet, I think that they may not yet get the majority. And then they will have to look for some other parties to form an alliance.
Like who?
But this time, I think, the BNP has fallen out with the Jamaat, and therefore that alliance is not a possibility. Well, at least I think.
All right. So the Jamaat and the BNP is out of the question. That's very clear. You're saying it may not be in a position to be able to form the government on its own, and it may want to look for alliance partners. Who? Will the Jatiya party, which was along with the Awami League, go that way, given the fact that in the with the resurgent Jamaat, the BNP, which itself is a right-wing party, now looks more like a moderate party?
The NCP, the Students' Party, is breaking up a little because many of their leaders are abandoning it.
Right.
And I think the Jamaat knows that, but the BNP might get them into their fold. There's a lot of flux now because of the coming election, and before the deadlines which have been announced, it would mean that there'll be a lot of Ayarams and Gayarams, as we say in India, and that was going to happen. And so the BNP, I believe, given the fact that the NCP itself has been abandoned by some of its own leaders, would mean that the BNP is probably the most attractive proposition. And I do believe that if Khaleda Zia, passes on, and hope she doesn't, because, she was a former PM and we have a great deal of respect for her. But if she does, then I think the swing will be, the sympathy swing.
That could benefit Tariq Rahman. All right, Ambassador, before I let go of you, in a changed atmosphere, in a charged up atmosphere, in an atmosphere where the mob on the street is gunning for the minorities, in an atmosphere where Bangladesh is in a political flux, what should India's stance be? How should India be responding? How should India be reacting to what is happening there?
Well, India has already taken a position that it would support a free, fair, and inclusive election. But inclusive would mean that allowing the Awami League to participate.
But that's not happening.
But that's not happening at the moment. So I think India will have a difficult choice in terms of supporting a government or dealing with a government that comes out of this election. But then one can always argue that the banning of the Awami League, etc., which may be a very, very undemocratic kind of action, but it's their own decision and their own domestic politics, their own laws, etc., which can facilitate such banning, which is, of course, very, very undemocratic and unexpected. But then, given the situation and the anger against the Awami League, this will happen, perhaps. But then, one can always question. It is the same problem that we faced when these guys, Yunus and company, told the whole world that Hasina was a fascist. She didn't allow free and fair elections. Now, the boot is on the other foot. They are doing exactly the same thing. Hence, can we call them also fascists?
Okay.
They'll have to face this question.
Okay.
And I don't think that would be a very happy situation for Bangladesh.
Okay. No, it may not be a happy situation for Bangladesh. You're saying that India finally has to deal with the government in place, whoever comes after the February elections, even if it is the BNP or whoever comes. But the fact remains that the anger against the Awami League is not just a question for Bangladesh. The head of the Awami League is sitting in your country.
Yes, in our country, you mean?
Yes, our country. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think that's a different issue altogether. I must remind your viewers that we did not invite our Sheikh Hasina here into India. It was their government at that time, their military, which requested free passage and aircraft clearance to bring her over here. It was only later that they set up to try her and sentence her to death. If they want her, if it is going to be an irritant, I'm sure. But I don't think the new government is going to insist on it. I think they will be happy enjoying the power that is going to accrue to them without the Awami League in the fray. And I think this issue of Hasina being in India it will certainly die down and go into the background.
Okay. We leave it there. Ambassador Pinak Chakravarti, thank you very much for being on the show and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Conference of Chief Secretaries in New Delhi on Sunday. The conference focuses on the theme Human Capital for Viksit Bharat, covering best practices and strategies for states and union territories to follow. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi said he discussed integrating the latest technology to make a positive difference in people's lives. He urged the states to promote manufacturing, enhance ease of doing business and strengthen the services sector. Dr. Karen Mustian, who received recently the recently announced Prime Minister's Yoga Award at the second WHO Global Summit on Traditional Medicine in New Delhi, has thanked Prime Minister Modi for the honor. She also lauded Prime Minister's leadership role in promoting yoga and Ayush globally.
I am excited and absolutely grateful to receive the Prime Minister's Yoga Award at the second annual World Health Global Summit on Traditional Medicine. I would especially like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Prime Minister Modi for his honoring and recognition of my research and work, but more so for his commitment and work promoting and supporting Ayush therapies so that they can be used across India but also globally in the field of oncology.
Jammu and Kashmir is set to witness a spell of rain and snowfall over the next few days due to western disturbances. The Meteorological Department says nearly 70 to 80% of the region is likely to be affected with heavy precipitation. Take a look at this report.
Jammu and Kashmir is bracing for a spell of wet weather in the coming few days. According to the Weather Office, close to 70 to 80% of the Union Territory will experience rainfall and snow due to a western disturbance expected to set in over the region from Tuesday.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में 30 तारीख से एक WD वो हिट करेगा, जिसके चलते पूरे जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में 70 से 80% एरिया में बारिश होगी। लेकिन जो बारिश 30 तारीख को है उसकी इंटेंसिटी जो है नॉर्थ कश्मीर में ज़्यादा रहेगी 30 को, लेकिन 31 को और 1 को जो है वो तकरीबन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में उसकी इंटेंसिटी ज़्यादा होगी और जो हायर रीचेस है वहाँ तो और भी ज़्यादा होगी। ये जो सिस्टम है ये 2 तारीख तक मॉर्निंग तक रहेगा और 2 तारीख के बाद आफ्टरनून से वेदर जो है वो क्लियर हो जाएगा।
As a result, there is prediction of slight variation in the maximum and minimum day temperatures.
2 तारीख तक जो टेम्परेचर्स हैं, जैसे अभी मिनिमम टेम्परेचर जो मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर है वो ऐसे ही चलते रहेंगे। मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर थोड़ा सा कम होगा लेकिन मिनिमम टेम्परेचर थोड़ा राइज करेगा, जिसके चलते दिन को भी ठंड रहेगी और रात का तो नेचुरली टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा डिप नहीं करेगा। इससे चलते जो 3 तारीख के बाद जो है वो नॉर्मल वेदर हो जाएगा और फिर टेम्परेचर फॉल करेंगे।
The Kashmir Valley is currently in Chillai Kala, the 40-day period of harshest winter. This year, due to a prolonged spell of dry weather, the cold has intensified with snow and rains largely absent from the region.
As the new year approaches, holiday mood is clearly visible across Tamil Nadu. Tourist hotspots are seeing a surge in visitors with Thiraparapu Falls in Kanyakumari emerging as a favorite destination, bringing cheer not just to travelers but also to local businesses. Take a look.
Tourist destinations across Tamil Nadu are witnessing an increase in footfall ahead of the new year. Thiraparapu Falls in Kanyakumari district has emerged as a major attraction. On Sunday, a large number of families and groups of friends were seen visiting the falls for picnic and leisure activities.
I came to visit Kanyakumari, and the falls were one of the pit stops, and it's very refreshing and nice. It's a must visit.
The influx of tourists has brought cheer to local vendors and businesses who are witnessing brisk sales and thriving activity during the year-end holiday season.
Two students from Surat's Zaporizhzhia University have launched an initiative to recycle cigarette waste and turn it into useful products. The project aims to reduce environmental damage and has also received support from the Gujarat government. Here's the report.
Two students at the Zaporizhzhia University in Surat have launched an initiative to recycle cigarette stubs and turn them into products for everyday use. Prajapati Tanvi and Jay Mehta wanted to address the problem of cigarette waste, which is not just an eyesore but also harmful to the environment. Their solution was to collect and recycle cigarette stubs, and today they are doing so successfully.
हमने एक डेडिकेटेड बिन डिज़ाइन किया है जो हमने सूरत के 30+ लोकेशन पे इंस्टॉल किया है, 50+ बिन हमने इंस्टॉल किया है। वहाँ पे हमारी वॉलंटियर की टीम है जो कलेक्शन करती है और वो कलेक्शन होके हमारे पास लैब में आता है। लैब में हम उसको केमिकल प्रोसेस करते हैं और क्लीन करते हैं। उसके बाद हम इसमें से अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट डिज़ाइन करते हैं। सर, इसके अंदर से बहुत सारी चीज़ें बनाई जाती है, जैसे पेस्टिसाइड हो गया, कंपोस्ट हो गया, रिसाइकल पेपर है, रुई हो गया, और हमारा और भी सब प्रोडक्ट के अंदर R&D चालू है।
हम लोग कलेक्टेड सिगरेट बर्ड्स को लैब में लाते हैं, फिर उससे 3 चीज़ें अलग करते हैं, पेपर, फिल्टर्स एंड टोबैको वेस्ट। उनमें से जो पेपर होते हैं हम उसे डिटॉक्सिफाई करते हैं विथ अल्कोहलिक वॉश, एसिडिक वॉश एंड देन बेसिक वॉश। उसके बाद उसको मिक्सचर में ग्राइंड करके उसको जैसे टिपिकल पेपर बनाते हैं, उस टेक्निक से हम उस पर पेपर बनाते हैं।
The project received support from the state government under its Student Startup and Innovation Policy, which aims to build a university-based ecosystem to nurture student creativity. The policy offers financial aid of up to Rs 2.5 lakh along with mentorship and incubation for transforming ideas into market-ready products.
ये इनका SSIP प्रोजेक्ट है। SSIP जो है वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गुजरात डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एजुकेशन का एक बहुत अच्छा इनिशिएटिव है और सार्वजनिक यूनिवर्सिटी में SSIP की पूरी एक कमेटी है। तो ये 2 स्टूडेंट्स जय मेहता, तन्वी प्रजापति ने उसमें आइडिया पिचिंग किया था और इनको SSIP के थ्रू फंड मिला था और मैं उनका मेंटर हूँ इस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए।
What started as a small initiative by 2 students has now grown into a movement involving 30 student volunteers, all driven by a shared passion for protecting the environment while cleaning up public spaces.
Legendary French actress Brigitte Bardot has passed away. She passed away on Sunday at the age of 91. Bardot became a symbol of liberated femininity and a defining figure of the 1950s and 60s cinema after rising to global fame at the age of 21 with the 1956 film And God Created Woman. She later withdrew from public life, dedicating herself to animal welfare and founding the Brigitte Bardot Foundation in 1986. You're watching DD India Newshour. Time now for some sports news. The 2025-26 Indian Super League will be staged across 2 or 3 centralized venues, moving away from the traditional home and away format. While the AIFF has earlier indicated a February 5th start, final dates remain undecided. The season's delay stems from the expiry of the master rights agreement with the FSDL, leaving the business model uncertain. Divya Singh, Prashanti Singh and Pratima Singh, the 3 sisters who have all proudly represented India in basketball, came together on the sidelines of the Harish Sharma 3-on-3 All India Basketball Championship in Delhi. Interacting with DD India, Narayan Singh, the former internationalists, share their view on the fast-growing format of the game.
Harish Sharma 3-on-3 All India Basketball Championship is taking place in New Delhi, and right now I am joined by 3 sisters, all of whom have represented India in the women's basketball. We have Prashanti ji, we have Divya and we have Pratima. All of them have represented India, so it's a big achievement that you have been coach of the women's team, also the boys team. So tell something about how your career panned out.
So firstly, I played for Indian team for a long time. Then I went to USA to do my sports management, and I did coaching in NCA level 1 team. Then I came back and I thought I'll start coaching. So I started coaching under 16 team, under 18 team, and then I've coached senior team also, under 16 men team also.
3-on-3 taking place here. And so do you think such opportunities, such exposure is going to help the youth of the country, especially in the 3-on-3 basketball?
Yeah, definitely, because 3-on-3 is the future of basketball worldwide, because it is more explosive, it is short, crisp, and it is पूरी दुनिया अडाप्ट कर रही है इसको. It is an Olympic sport now, or such kind of exposure is going to help players a lot, because they're here to under 14 and senior team. senior members playing together. So junior players are very excited to see senior players at the same court. So it is the future and it is good.
We have Pratima ji also. Pratima, if you take a look, it's all a family game for you people. All of you are representing India, and when all the members of the family are playing the game and representing India at the highest level, so how does it feel? What do you talk when you are not playing the game? So on the table also you are discussing sports or something else?
Sometimes. Generally we avoid talking about basketball because everybody in our family has different opinions, so we might start fighting. So we don't talk basketball at all. Otherwise it's a very good atmosphere, very nice atmosphere, because having siblings who share the same sports is a blessing, because you are doing something constructive together. So it's very nice feeling.
Definitely, with such kind of exposure and such kind of mentorship from the veterans, our basketball definitely flourish and will touch new heights. With camera person Manmohan Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
Okay, let's talk about hockey. Indian hockey's legacy met its future in Chennai as Surma Hockey Club unveiled its new jersey at Sitare or Surma, bringing legends, current stars and young players together in a celebration of the sport. DD India's Taposh Bhattacharya files this report.
Indian hockey came alive in Chennai as Sitare or Surma, an on-ground initiative by JSW Sports Surma Hockey Club, celebrated the past, present and future of the game. Held at Ramachandra University ground in Chennai, the event brought together hockey legends, current internationals and young academy players in a shared celebration of the sport. The highlight was the unveiling of Surma Hockey Club's new jersey, revealed alongside youngsters. The day began with interactive hockey clinics led by Rani Rampal and Sardar Singh, focusing on attack, midfield and defense as children trained, learned and asked questions directly to their idols. This was followed by an exciting 7-a-side exhibition match featuring Surma's men's and women's player alongside legends like Vasudevan Bhaskaran and Mohammad Riaz, blending generations and energy on one field. A special felicitation honored Indian hockey stalwarts as legends stood shoulder to shoulder with current players during the jersey reveal. Tapas Bhattacharya's report for DD India.
DD India Newshour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR codes on your screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amrit Pal Singh. From my entire team here in Delhi, thank you for watching DD India Newshour. Good night.